Deze.
Hello and welcome to this Minecraft Timelapse. My name is JuliusH and this is how I made a modern office park. I would like to have several buildings in this area with an open design. I have choose grey, white and black for the buildings because they belong to the modern style I would like to present. The inspiration for this office park came from a sketch I made earlier. Only the central building and the building I am currently working on were drawn on this. I have chosen to add more buildings. I don't have an exact function for the buildings yet. That's why I haven't added an interior. This building has a triangular base and a line pattern that runs parallel to the roof. I made a solid wall on one side, but at the end of the time-lapse I didn't like the result and I'm going to change it later for glass. The reason for that is that it doesn't quite fit the building either. I'm now working on the road between the buildings. I choose it to be a road for service vehicles only. I also used a pattern to vary the material and use of color. I'm now going to start with the main building of this area. This is the largest building and has more than enough office space. The unique but also most difficult part to make is the round shape that the building has, because the round shape is three-dimensional. I choose to use the same pattern as the building made earlier, to make the buildings belong together. I started with a small idea, then I made a sketch of it. I also improvised a lot after that and changed it so that it fits better. That's why a lot changes during the time-lapse. I also made a solid wall for this building, what I want to adjust as glass later, because this is not the open design I want to create, and now it looks weird. What you see now is roughly what I draw on my sketch. I thought the design was still pretty empty at this point, and I decided to add more buildings, but also plants and details. I decided to make large borders for plants between the buildings, with many paths in between, especially in a horizontal, vertical and diagonal line. I choose this because I think it fits well with the modern and open style that I want to create. I would like a statue on the corner of the street. I thought of the bull in New York and I wanted to make my own version of it. I used polished diorite for a brown copper color. But in the end, the statue also looked a bit like a deer, I think. What animal do you see in it? I opted for an open design because I wanted to create a modern but also a minimalistic style in terms of the plants in the area, so that the buildings are sufficiently visible. That's why I use low bushes and some trees. Here I made the building that stands in the middle of the site I am working on. The building is not too high and has an interesting pattern. I decided to add the pattern to all sides of the building, because the building is in the middle and should be interesting from all the sides. I also start to make more paths and borders. I want to add a lot of plants to create a nice area. A unique feature of this building is that the roof slopes to one side. This made building a bit more difficult, but in the end I'm very happy with the result. My opinion is that while building, 3 things are important. The first are the buildings, then the roads and paths, and finally nature and details, such as lampposts and benches, for example. For more variation, I use plants of different sizes. For example, trees, shrubs and grass. Water is also important to get more variation in the scenery. This creates a natural environment that feels nice. In the meantime, I started working on the parking lot, but I soon decided that it is too small for the size of the area and the different buildings. I have therefore changed the borders so that more space is available. I usually build block by block because I like this more, but for things that are repeated or modified, I use the World Edit mod. Now that almost all the buildings are standing, it is time to place trees and shrubs. For the trees I use birch leaves and dark oak fence. For the bushes, oak leaves and some birch leaves, with grass and fern in between. I use coarse dirt in the border because I don't want grass in it. I only want the grass I place by myself. I added a small office building because otherwise I thought it would still feel too empty. I also added a large pond to get more variety around the buildings. This is the end of the time-lapse. Thank you for watching this time-lapse. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you next time.